Hello everyone, this is Sana Parveen here, and this is my YouTube channel Sana's Biochemistry. This is day 10 video of a 45 days NEET practice session. As you all know that every video we have got 15 questions in each of the videos. There are already videos which we have made and uploaded on our YouTube channel. You can visit our channel. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. Visit the NEET 2020 playlist in which you will be finding all the videos. Else I'll be giving you the link in the description below so that you can follow the link and watch the videos. Okay, so here day 10. Let us just get started. Haven't subscribed to the channel yet? Subscribe. If you like the content, hit the like button and also hit the bell icon so that you'll be notified every time we upload a video. Okay, without wasting much of time, let us just continue with here question number 1. The stage during which separation of the paired homologous chromosomes begin is option given to us are pachytene, zygote, dikinesis, and a diplotin. Okay, here in this question they're talking about the सेल डिवीजन में जो साइकिल होता है उस साइकिल के बारे में बात करें उसमें अलग अलग फेजेस होते हैं तो इन दिस क्वेश्चन व्हाट इज आस्क्ड इज कि the stage during which separation of the paired homologous chromosome begins. For understanding this, we need to first I will explain and then we're going to look for the answer. इसको यहाँ पे we need to understand one thing which is called as synaptonemal complex. Synaptonemal complex. As the word is very big, I am going to just write it as SC. We are going to go in detail because many questions are asked on this. We will go step by step and it is going to take long for understanding this question because we're going to go for a pictorial way of I'm going to draw all the diagrams. Okay, so let us just go for understanding this one. Okay, we need to first focus on the question. The question says ki during which stage is the separation of the paired homologous chromosome begins. Okay, when are the two chromosomes getting separated from one another? For that, we need to understand the various stages involved in cell division. Okay, so the first stage here, people, is called as liptoten. Liptoten stage. Okay, what happens in liptoten stage is we simply need to go for the diagram here. In this, when you see the the liptoten stage here, okay, just give me a second, I'm just gonna grab the pen and then we're gonna start drawing. Okay, here we have got this as the boundary. Okay, this is the entire cell and we are seeing what we are looking at what is happening inside the nucleus. This is the centromere. Okay, this is the centromere and you have got the chromosome. In liptoten stage the chromosomes starts to condense and we are going to see only two chromosomes because there is not much space in here. So we have condensation of the chromosome happening in a liptoten stage. Okay, then we have got the other stage called as zygote. Okay, now I'm going to write zygote stage. Okay, now in this stage we again have the nuclear membrane and then we have got the cell membrane. Okay, in this what happens is this chromosome, okay, the condensed one, and this other condensed one, okay, they start to pair up with one another by forming thread like structures in between them which is made up of proteins and this is called as synaptonemal complex. Okay, so this is called as synaptonemal complex. Synaptonemal complex are going to the pair up the chromosome, the condensed chromosome. So what is the function happening in the zygote stage? The chromosome starts to pair up with one another. Okay, next stage if we look at it, it is called as, okay, as I said, this question is going to take time, so you need to be very attentive. Pachytene stage. Okay, now here in the pachytene stage we have got the nuclear membrane, the cell membrane, And in the Pachydine stage, we have the condensed chromosomes. First of all, I'm going to draw the condensed chromosomes. And the synaptonemal complex formation is complete here. Synaptonemal complex formation is complete in which stage? In Pachydine stage. Okay, tetrad formation is seen in Pachydine. Then we have got other stage called as Diplotene stage. Diplotene stage. Now in Diplotene stage we have what, I don't have much of space in here, so we're just going to discuss only up till Diplotene stage. And this is the nuclear membrane and the cell membrane. And on the diplotin stage we have the chiasma formation, that is crossing over happening between the chromosomes. Okay, so we just have got here this one and this one. Okay, fine. So this is chiasma formation seen in diplotin stage. Okay. What is the meaning of chiasma? That is crossing over happening in the phase. Okay, and also in the diplotin stage, if we look at it properly, the synaptonemal complex starts to begin in the formation begins in the zygotine stage. Okay, of prophase one. Second one, in Pachydine stage, the synaptonemal complex formation is complete. Then it acts like a zipper. It holds the chromosomes together, aligning them perfectly. The synaptonemal complex is holding them together to align them properly. Okay. After complete process, crossing over occurs, and in the diplotin stage where the chiasma is visible, okay, people, the synaptonemal complex unzips and disappear. Okay, so here the synaptonemal complex is unzipped and is disappeared. So in this stage, the separation of chromosomes is seen. Okay, so answer is going to be what here to our question. Let us just going to read out. We're going to read out the question again. The stage during which separation of the paired homologous chromosomes begins is. We're just talking about the beginning, and the answer here is going to be diplotin stage. Okay, so that is our answer. Next question, let us just move on to the next question here. Okay, so I'm going to read out the question. Which of the following is true for nucleolus? Which of the following is true for nucleolus? Okay, then we are going to look at the options. Okay, fine, we have in here. Perfect. Option given to us are large nuclei are present in dividing cells. Large nuclei are present in dividing cells. First one. Second one is it is a site for active ribosomal RNA synthesis. It takes part in spindle formation. And the last one is it is a membrane bound structure. Okay, membrane bound structure. We need to look at the explanation first about the nucleolus. We will see about the nucleolus and then we are going to move on to answer discussion. If you can predict yourself, you can do it for yourself, but we are here going to go step by step. Okay, हम step by step यहाँ पे जा रहे हैं. Okay, so we have to discuss about the nucleolus. First of all, nucleolus is what? What is nucleolus? For that we need to see the structure. So this is the nucleus. The nucleus. Okay, in the nucleus. So surrounding the nucleus we have got the cell. In the nucleus we have a small structure. So this is nucleus. And in the nucleus we've got a small structure called as nucleolus. Okay, and this red color thing is the cell. That means in the nucleus we have got a small structure called as nucleolus which is present. Okay, now when we go for understanding about the functions related to nucleolus, okay, we need to see it is called as the small nucleus. Okay, first point, it is called as the small nucleus. Second, okay, it appears darker than the nucleus, appears darker. Second, if we see about the functions, it is involved in functions. It is involved in assembly, assembly of ribosome assembly, and also synthesis of rRNA, that is ribosomal RNA. Okay. Now we have got the option given to us people here. Small nucleus appears darker, assembly of ribosomes, and synthesis of rRNA. And it also it does not have a membrane. So this nucleolus is not having any membrane. Next here is the nucleolus is nothing but a place where there is synthesis of a lot of ribosomal proteins and RNA. Okay, fine. And when you move on ahead with explanation in here, we have nucleolus is a spherical structure. Okay, no membrane present, and it disappears during cell division. So nucleolus is not seen during cell division, is not seen during cell division. And as I've already told, it is involved in RNA synthesis and ribosome assembly. Okay, so this was all about nucleolus. And when we go and see the options which are given to here are, which of the following is true for nucleolus? Options are, large nuclei are present in dividing cell. Okay, which is wrong. We just said that during cell division, the nucleolus disappears. It is a site for active ribosomal rRNA synthesis. Yes. It takes part in spindle formation. We have not discussed this. It is a membrane bound structure. No, it is not. Answer here comes out to be very clearly, it is the site for active ribosomal RNA synthesis. Okay, so that is going to be our answer. Next question. Okay, it depends upon the stomatal movement is not affected by. Stomatal movement is not affected by. Okay, so we have here option given to us are temperature, carbon dioxide concentration, oxygen concentration, and light. Okay, so we need to understand this stomatal movement is dependent on what all factors. The first factor being light, the second factor being temperature, the third factor is carbon dioxide concentration, and the fourth factor is water availability. These are the factors. So if we go and see in light, stomata opens in light and it will close in darkness. Light intensity also affects the stomatal movement. Second, temperature, stomata can open between a temperature of 30 to 40 degree Celsius. Carbon dioxide concentration, stomata will open at low concentration and close at high concentration of carbon dioxide. And water availability, underwater stress condition, stomata will get closed. So if it's a stressful condition, not much water is available, so plant will not want the water to move out. Okay, it will try to retain the water in its body. So definitely all these factors are there. So if we compare with these factors, we have got oxygen concentration is the thing on which stomatal movement is not dependent. Okay, so that is going to be our answer. Next question we see. Okay, so it's a question, which among the following is not a prokaryote? A question is not a prokaryote. Okay. Okay, so we have here option given to us are Saccharomyces, Oscillatoria, Nostoc, Mycobacterium. Okay, so when we look at the options here, the option says that there is something called as phylum Monera. There is something called as phylum Monera. Okay, now in this phylum Monera, it consists of bacteria. Phylum Monera consists of bacteria, which is Mycobacterium, and it also consists of cyanobacteria. Cyanobacteria. Now in cyanobacteria we have nostoc and we have oscillatoria. Nostoc and oscillatoria. Okay. Now in phylum Monera, these are all prokaryotes. These are all prokaryotes. Okay, so when we see related to prokaryotes, Saccharomyces oscillatoria is prokaryote, Nostoc is prokaryote, Mycobacterium is prokaryote. So answer here is going to be R. Saccharomyces is not a prokaryote. Saccharomyces is nothing but a yeast. Okay, it is yeast, and this yeast is eukaryote. It's a fungus, eukaryotic in nature. Okay, so that is our answer. Next question is going to be, if you are liking the content, please hit the like button and also share it with your friends. Which of the following is not a product of light reaction of photosynthesis? ATP, oxygen, NADPH or NADH? Okay, that's a beautiful question. First of all, we need to understand what is happening in the process here. Okay, so we are going to discuss in detail light reaction because questions will be asked again and again on this particular topic. Okay, let us just dive in the explanation, and I'm going to try to make you understand in the simplest way possible, so that you also understand what is actually happening. Okay, we have other trees, and everyone knows that the trees are involved in photosynthesis. Okay, so when this process has to happen, there is input of carbon dioxide, and there is also an input of water, carbon dioxide, water, and then we have got, not from the top but from the bottom, the water is going to move in water. Okay, and then we have got sunlight, the sunlight. Okay, all these are the raw materials, or all these are the things that are going to be required for the photosynthesis to happen. Now definitely talking about the sun, but some other light sources can also be used. Now there occurs a chemical process for the plants to convert these resources into glucose. Exactly, and this process of conversion of chemical energy, this process of conversion of light energy to chemical energy is nothing but photosynthesis. Okay, that is called as photosynthesis. Now here when we talk about photosynthesis, it is consisting of two processes. Photosynthesis has two processes. One is light reaction, which is light dependent, which is going to need some light source, and the second one is Kelvin cycle, which we will not discuss here. So light reaction, the question is based on light reaction, so we are going to discuss in detail what is light reaction. Okay, now when I have the plant and I am going to move in the leaf inside here, in the leaf I see there are plant cells, and in the plant cell there is an organelle called as chloroplast. So whatever is going to happen, the light reaction is, we're going to talk about chloroplast. Now when I see the structure of chloroplast, I'm going to remove the chloroplast and see there are thylakoids inside. Okay, these disc-like structures are called as thylakoid. Okay, and surrounding the thylakoid there is a fluid filled there is a fluid present which is called as the stroma. Okay, fine. Now we are going to move inside the thylakoid. Okay, people, so here as I was saying that you have got the chloroplast, and in that you have got the disc-like structures called as thylakoid. Now I am going to focus on the thylakoid structure. Okay, the membrane of the thylakoid. So this is the membrane of the thylakoid, and I am going to focus in here because I have tried to magnify this portion here. This portion is magnified. When I see here, there are certain proteins which are present in the membrane called as photosystems, and there are many proteins in between also. So these are called as photosystems. Okay, so I'm going to write here photosystem 2 and photosystem 1. Okay, now in these photosystems what happens is there is water present here down, water is there. This water is taken up by the photosystem 1 with a process called as photolysis is going to happen of the water, because of which electrons are generated. The electrons move here and the oxygen gas is generated here. Okay, pay attention. Oxygen generated in light reaction. Oxygen is generated. Now these electrons are here and we have seen that, we know that the light is falling on the leaves. Okay, because of which these electrons are energized and they are passed on in an electron transport chain. Here the electron is going to be transferred from photosystem 1 to photosystem 2. Okay, now we are going to see there's a series of reactions in which the electrons are passed in the thylakoid membrane with the help of the proteins. Okay, now in the second case what happens, people, is the electrons are then passed through an electron transport chain. Okay, as we are saying that the electrons are transported from the photosystem 1, there is a continuous supply of electrons from the water which is present here. Oxygen is formed. Okay, now there in this we have got the energy from the electron is used to pump hydrogen ion from the stoma to the thylakoid, creating a concentration gradient. Okay, now the energy which these electrons are having energy. Now this energy is used for pumping the H plus ion from the stroma to the thylakoid, because of which there is a concentration gradient. There is a concentration gradient, because of which the concentration gradient which is generated powers a protein called as ATP synthase. Okay, so we have got here, say, a protein. I'm going to draw that. Just give me a second. Yes. So there is a protein here. Let us say I have drawn a protein here. And this protein is nothing but it has got, this protein is called as ATP synthase. This is powered by what synthase? This is powered because of the concentration gradient that has happened from in the stroma and the thylakoid. This ATP synthase now phosphorylates ADP to ATP. That means ATP also produced, ATP is also produced. Okay. Now in the last step, what happens is within PS1, the low energy electrons are re-energized. Okay, so these electrons will ultimately reach to photosystem 1. These are re-energized and are passed to an electron transport chain where they are used to reduce the electron carrier. So these electrons are now used to reduce the electron carriers. Okay, I just don't have space. So we are going to write here NADP plus, NADP plus, and we have got the formation of NADPH. Okay, so when I see here, I have got the formation of oxygen, NADPH, ATP. Okay, oxygen, NADPH, and ATP. Now let us see which is the correct answer. Okay, when I see which of the following is not a product of light reaction of photosynthesis, ATP, oxygen, NADPH, or NADH. So answer is going to be what? NADH is not the is not produced. NADH is not produced. Okay, chalo, next question. So we have stomata. Okay, we have got the question here. Stomata in grass leaves. Grass are monocots. So the structure of the stomata in monocots is going to be different. Dumbbell shape, barrel shape, rectangular, and kidney shape. Okay, so when we look at the diagrams in here, when you look at the diagrams, so we have diagrams for dicots and we have got diagrams for monocots. In the monocots, when I see the structures to be like this. Okay, and in dicots we see structures like this. So in the stomata in the grass leaves, it is dumbbell shape. Answer 1 is correct, dumbbell shape. Next question is the Golgi complex participates in. Golgi complex participates in, and the option given to us are fatty acid breakdown, activation of amino acid, respiration in bacteria, and the last one is formation of secretory vesicles. Okay, so for that we need to understand the structure of Golgi. And the structure of Golgi is, it has got disc-like structures. Okay, one phase of the Golgi is called as the cis phase, and the other one is called as the trans phase. Okay, now in the cis phase we have got the incoming molecules, and the trans phase we have got the outgoing molecules. Okay, it is called as the postman of the cell, because it takes the molecules, wraps them up into a vesicle. It is going to wrap them up into a vesicle, and then this vesicle is going to be secreted from the Golgi. So when you look at the answers here, options, answer is going to be formation of secretory vesicles. Okay, chalo, next question now. The two functional groups The two functional groups of characteristics of sugar are, option given to us are hydroxyl and methyl, carbonyl and hydroxyl, carbonyl and phosphate, carbonyl and methyl. Okay, options, when you see, we have here, let me draw the structure of glucose. So when I draw the structure of glucose, I have got carbon 3, 4, 5, and we have got 6. Here at the bottom we have got CH2OH, HOH, HOH, OHH, and HOH. Okay, and at the top I've got CHO. So when I see, I have got CHO aldehyde, which is nothing but carbonyl. Aldehyde is carbonyl, and we have got the OH, which is hydroxyl. Okay, so answer is going to be what, people? Carbonyl and hydroxyl. Option number B is the correct answer if you look at the structure of glucose, because glucose is nothing but a sugar which takes part in the which takes part in the reaction. Okay, they are the functional groups which are present in the sugar. Next question is, let us see, let us look at the question. A new variety of rice was patented by a foreign company. Though such varieties have been present in India for a long time. This is related to Co 667, Basmati, Larma Rojo, and Sharbati Sonora. Okay, so the question which is given to us is, that means India was already having this variety of rice, and there was some US based foreign company in to which the US government has given a patent to the company called as Rice Tech. Okay, the government of India then challenged on April 2001. In April 2001, that we already have this variety and you cannot give the patent. After which I think at last the patent was cancelled. So if you want to read in detail, there's an article which I've put up on my Telegram channel called as Sana's Biochemistry. So you can visit our Telegram channel, Sana's Biochemistry, and then you can have the entire paper which is available on my Telegram channel, and also subscribe to the Telegram channel. Okay, so here it was related to basmati rice, the rice variety which India was already having this the variety, and the US based company was asking for the payment. That was variety of rice called as basmati. The C and the D options are not the variety of rice; it is a variety of wheat. Okay, next question. Yes, we have the question. Select the correct option: ribosome, nucleic acid, Mendel transformation, Morgan transduction, F2 into recessive parent is dihybrid cross. Okay, in this, when you have to see the correct option, we have the option given to us are ribozymes are enzymes. So we say usually all enzymes are proteins, but not all proteins are enzymes. But certain enzymes are not proteins. Okay, these enzymes are made up of RNA, and RNA is nucleic acid. RNA is nucleic acid. Okay, so here our option is going to be ribozymes are nucleic acids. That means enzymes which are made up of RNA and they are acting as an enzyme. So answer is going to be option number A. Next one question is Which of the following is commonly used as a vector for introducing a DNA fragment in human lymphocytes? Okay, human lymphocytes are a type of cells which are present in the human body. And a vector means, a vector is like a vehicle which is, sorry, a vector is like a vehicle which is going to transport the material from one place to another place. Okay, the genetic material when they needs and when the insertion is needed, so they're going to do that. Option given to us are here: retrovirus, PBR322, lambda phage, and TI plasmid. Okay, so when you look at the options which are given to us, answer we need to see for this one. Okay, vector, as I told, is something which is going to go for transportation. Okay, so here we have got the answer to be of this is retrovirus. Okay, now why do we have the answer to be retrovirus? Because in some gene therapy, what is gene therapy? Gene therapy is, for example, in someone's body there is a defective gene, and this defective genes needs a replacement. Okay, or an introduction of a new genetic material is needed, because of which retroviruses are used. Now, what retroviruses are? These viruses, they have got the genetic material as RNA, and this RNA is converted into DNA. This DNA then goes and attaches itself in the host cell. Okay, so retrovirus is the answer to the question. Okay, next question is, in India, the organization responsible for assessing the safety of introducing genetically modified organism for public use is, option given to us are Indian Council of Medical Research, ICMR, Genetic Engineering Appraisal Committee, GEAC, Research Committee on Genetic Manipulation, RCGM, Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR. Okay, it's a very direct question. I don't think there's an explanation in this one. And the answer is Genetic Engineering Appraisal Committee. This one. Okay, there are other functions of this committee also, and which are, it is definitely involved in assessing the safety of the genetically modified GMOs. Other functions involve import, export, transport, manufacture, okay, selling of any organism or genetically modified organism, including foodstuffs, okay, and additives. So there are many large scale, whether you're going to use the genetically modified organism, is will it cause any disaster, everything this GEAC has to look after. Okay, next one, the correct step in the polymerase chain reaction is, option given to us are extension, denaturation, annealing, annealing, extension, denaturation, extension, annealing, annealing, extension, denaturation. For this, we need to understand what is this PCR, that is polymerase chain reaction. In this, polymerase chain reaction is to nothing but, for example, I just have one single DNA copy. What do I have? I have one single DNA copy. Okay, now this DNA copy is to be, I want multiple copies of these DNA. Okay, multiple copies of the DNA is required. That is called as amplification. You amplifying the number. So the technique used here is called as PCR technique. Okay, now how are you going to go for amplification? For that, you definitely need certain raw materials. Okay, you are definitely going to need a DNA sample. Kiska amplification karna hai? The DNA sample. You're going to need primers, which is absolutely necessary for the process. You need the nucleotides, ATGC, the raw materials, the basics from which the DNA will be formed. Okay, the one called a Staq polymerase. Okay, this is the enzyme which is going to do the polymerization reaction. Okay, it is going to help production of DNA, multiple DNA copies. Then you need a buffer solution, a mixture in which you have the liquid portion. And the last one is a PCR tube. Okay, small tube in which you're going to add all these and do the process. Okay, when you look at the process here, first of all you have the DNA. So I'm just going to write the DNA like this. If you want to amplify this DNA, you need to separate the two DNA. The first process is denaturation. You are separating the DNA strands. Okay, so this is going to have some nucleotides, this is going to have nucleotides. Denaturation is separate first. Okay, second process here is you have the DNA strands. Now you are going to need a base which is going to polymerize the reaction. Okay, this is called as primers attached. These are nothing but primers. These primers, when they attach, this process is called as annealing. You are adding something, annealing. Okay, next process people is going to be an old strands, and you have got the new strands which are going on extending, and now in this you have got two. From one DNA you are now having two DNA. So this is called as extension process. So this is the third one. Correct sequence is denaturation, annealing, and extension. Okay. So here we have got denaturation, annealing, and extension. Option number B is the correct answer. Now we move on to the next question. Is Yes, we have the next question in which we have use of bioresource by multinational companies and organization without authorization from the concerned country and its people is called as. That means bioresources are there and the multinational companies are using all these resources without taking the permission of the country from which they're using the bioresources and its people. Option given to us are bio infringement, bio exploitation, biodegradation, and bio piracy. Okay, so when you see bio infringement, it is violating an owner's exclusive rights to intangible assets like music. Okay, like music, literacy, and artistic work. Okay, bio exploitation, this the second one, is in which it is also example includes parasitism. One population is harming the second population. Parasitism, grazing, okay, the mimicry, all these are bio exploitation. That means one organism is taking advantage of other organism in the ecosystem. Then biodegradation, everyone knows, that is the breakdown of organic matter by microorganisms such as bacteria and fungus. So the last option which is remaining is biopiracy, which is the correct answer, in which is the practice of commercially exploiting naturally occurring biochemical or genetic material, especially by obtaining patents that restricts its further use while failing to pay fair compensation to the community from which it originates. So biopiracy is the correct answer. The last one is question option given to us are winged pollen grains. That means when you have got the pollen grain here, pollen is there, and this pollen is having wings because it wants to fly. So winged pollen grain is present in which of the plant option given to us are mustard, pinus, mango, cycas. Option out of the option, the answer is a direct one. Pinus is the correct answer, in which the pollen has wings, so that it is carried away by the wind for pollination. So this is a winged pollen grain. So we have covered 15 questions from our 2018 question paper. And then if you like the content, hit the like button. Also subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to share it with your friends. Hit the bell icon so that you'll be notified every time we upload a video. This is Sana Parveen here. And this is my YouTube channel, Sana's Biochemistry. Okay. And yeah, bye bye everyone. Take care. See you in the next video.